In this session, we'll be talking about how to mitigate shadow AI risks. Now, in the last session, we talked about how easy it was to set up Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. This is a free version of Copilot, but most organizations don't realize the risks and how they are able to monitor for unauthorized AI use across their business estate, been able to detect potential risks of oversharing confidential information, and implement strategies to mitigate these with Microsoft Purview. Now, there's a little tool that you may or may not have heard of called Microsoft Purview Data Security Posture Management, or DSPM for short. And this is a tool that monitors specifically for AI the activity and identifies any potential risks. So just as a quick recap, this is what end users see for the M365 Copilot Chat app, but also this can be pinned to other applications like Microsoft Teams. Now, as they're using this tool, there are a number of different services behind the scenes within Microsoft 365 that this is underpinned by. So it's the same security, the same permissions, the same protection, and the same governance that you have across all of your Microsoft applications. So whether you're working within Microsoft Teams or whether you're working in Word, exactly the same protection is provided for Copilot Chat as well, both for the free version and the paid. And this session will talk about what the capabilities are like today. So in preview at the moment is DPSM. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But we can have the same governance action. So if you're applying sensitivity labels to content, and that is quite sensitive, we can also monitor the potential risk and leakage of that as well, whether it's across the Microsoft applications, the first-party ones, or third-party shadow AI using things like ChatGPT or Gemini. So what this looks like is if we are an admin, we can go across to Microsoft Purview. And when we go into DPSM, we can see a suggestion of all the things that we need to set up. So because Microsoft Copilot is a first-party application or service, this is enabled by default, but we need to make sure that the audit capabilities are turned on for our end users. This is very granular auditing information, not just for Copilot, but across all of your Microsoft activities and your content. Whereas if you want to monitor for other generative AI providers or applications, then you can install and deploy a small Purview browser extension that will actually monitor and gain all of those insights and then surface that potential risk up to you. And this is what you can see. At this snapshot view, we can see that 10% of our users have been detected with risky AI usage. So this is a combination of things. It's looking at the data that's being used. It's looking at the prompts that's been sent. It's looking at the potential risk of your organizational data. And when we click on these recommendations, we can get a detailed view of that. So we can see some users with risky AI usage has received sensitive prompts in Copilot. So we're using responsible AI tools within the Microsoft ecosystem. Users are entering risky prompts into Copilot and have received sensitive prompts from other AI applications that are not Copilot. So great, apart from the setup tasks that we just did, we haven't had to enable any policies anywhere else. And DSPM is allowing us to suggest what type of policies we might want to set up. So in this case, it's saying inside a risky policy to discover potential risky AI usage. And all I have to do is click the create button and it'll create the policy for me. And then my policy is set up. So no longer do I have to go in and do complex configuration of these policies to maintain privacy and security. DSPM allows me to do that. Once these policies have been set up, you can go in and view the reports. So I've got some sample information here. Let me just bring up my laser pointer. So here we can see interactions over time with Copilot or Copilot Chat. Remember, that's the free version. So you can deploy that across your estate. And we can see the usage of this, the interactions, but we can also monitor for third-party AI providers as well. So in this case, OpenAI ChatGPT Enterprise, so we can see the interactions over time. And if I scroll down, you can also see the type of information. So there's a number of built-in sensitive information types, or you can customize these to understand what potential data or risks that are being used as part of that AI provider. We can also see the interactions that are sensitive as well across those third-party and first-party applications. We can see any data that has a sensitivity label, so a classification label assigned to them. And we can also view by department. So this is a great overview snapshot about how AI is being used across my business. I would imagine today, if you don't have any of these capabilities turned on, no doubtably, you will have end users that are using some sort of third-party, probably paid by them, tool in order to help them on their daily work. So using this tool, you can not only just monitor and get recommendations about what potential risk would be, but also you could signpost those end users to say, hey, now you've got access to Copilot Chat. This is a secured way of using generative AI. We're actually going to block all of those third parties or those untrusted applications as well. So you're giving the estate the tool that they need, but also minimizing and mitigating that risk elsewhere. We have also seen where organizations are using DNS in creative ways. So if they do try to go to ChatGPT, then it will actually redirect them to the Microsoft Copilot Chat. Now we're coming towards the end of this session, but there are a couple of key things I wanted to point out. I mentioned earlier on to turn on auditing for all of your users. This is normally turned on across the estate anyway, unless you've got other reasons to turn it off. But we can see the granularity within Activity Explorer here as well. So right down the bottom, we can see all of the interactions that have been made through AI. And then we open up the blade for more information, and we can see the end user, we can see the interaction points, the prompt that they use, the sensitive information types that were triggered and detected. We can see the response that the AI is bringing back to them as well. And this is all built in. Well, that's it for this session. There were a number of announcements last year talking about the security and the governance of M365 Copilot and now Copilot Chat. So you're able to integrate all of these capabilities directly into Microsoft Purview. We can do things like data loss prevention as well across Copilot and web applications, by the way. And if you want to learn more, use the description below. I've put a number of key links and resources for you to go and have a look at. For now, I'll see you in the next one.